What is going on, New York Giants fans, football fans? Today, I wanted to make a video predicting the New York Giants 2019 schedule. Their record for this season. And a lot of people may say I'm crazy. A lot of people may agree with me. I don't know. I tried to be as unbiased as I possibly could in predicting this schedule. I think I'm a little more optimistic than some Giants fans, some football fans alike. I think the Giants could have a decent season. I'm not predicting Super Bowl, okay? But I think they could be improved. I like what they've done. I like that they've cleaned up the locker room culture. I like that they've brought in guys that fit these systems better than the previous season. It's year 2 under Betcher and Shermer. Of course, we can't predict injuries, right? In 2017, we were predicted to win the division. We had all the injuries in the world. We ended up winning 3 games. But with the improved offensive line, second year of Saquon Barkley, Eli Manning kind of having a lot of pressure to play really well. I think the Giants could be decent this year. I really do. And I think the defense could be better. That's not saying much. They were the worst defense in football last year, or among one of the worst. I don't care about the names they had. It was a bad defense. So they lost Landon Collins. Who cares? He wasn't very good here last year. They lost Olivier Vernon. The guy was barely on the field. I think he played 10 games. So it's Damon Snacks Harrison. But we replaced him with a guy who I think could be just as good in a Dexter Lawrence. So we'll see. I think the Giants had a really good draft. I think they could be a competitive football team this year. I don't think they're going to be this pushover like a lot of people on ESPN will tell you. But let's jump right into it. Of course, week 1, we're playing the team we seem to play every freaking year. And, of course, it's in Dallas, as usual, at Dallas. And this is going to be a tough game to win. Even if Ezekiel Elliott doesn't play, that offensive line is phenomenal. And it's at home in Dallas. Tough place to win. Even if Zeke doesn't play, I'd give the Giants obviously a much better chance if Zeke doesn't play. But Pollard, I think, could still get it done. And that's what it comes down to, the trenches with the Cowboys. You have to force Dak Prescott to beat you, and you have to be able to run on them, something the Giants couldn't do last year, the first time these two teams met in Dallas. And I think it'll be a similar story. I don't know if the Giants get embarrassed, but I think Dallas, week 1, beats the Giants. I really do, and I hate saying that, but I got to give the Giants an L there. But with the upcoming schedule for the Giants, there's still some hope when you look at their next 3 or 4 games. If they were ever able to win opening day against the Cowboys, which is a gigantic if, obviously, I'd be thinking playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay, as a fan. But I got them losing by about 7 to 10 points. Next game we've got the Buffalo Bills for the home opener. Now, some people may think this is a game the Giants should win. And I think the Giants can definitely win this game. And I'm actually going to pick them to win. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people may think. But I am going to give them the W. The Buffalo Bills, people forget, they were in the playoffs 2 years ago. Okay? This team, last year, rookie quarterback, Josh Allen, the offensive line sucked. They definitely improved that. They added 6 offensive linemen via free agency. They added a weapon in Cole Beasley. This team is, don't underestimate this Buffalo Bills team. I think this is an 8-8 football team. I think this is going to be a very competitive football team. Be it at home opener, New York Giants, a game they have to win. If Eli Manning drops to 0-2, he may be getting benched by week 3. So the pressure's on. I think Eli plays pretty well in this game. Not great, because the Bills have a great defense, but good enough. The defense does its job. They keep them in check, although I do worry about Josh Allen's scrambling ability. I think he'll be able to make some plays with his legs. We all know how the Giants historically do against running quarterbacks. But I think the Giants narrowly find a way to win this game, but I would not be surprised at all if they lose it. But I'm going to have the Giants winning this game by like 3 points. Next game up, we've got the Tampa Bay Bucks. And these two teams met last year in what was an absolute shootout. Giants ended up winning 38-35. New coach Bruce Arians comes in. Jameis Winston's at quarterback. Of course, Ryan Fitzpatrick played for them last year. And Ryan Fitzpatrick was the better quarterback of the two last year, if you're being fair. I mean, going into that game, Fitzpatrick had one of the best QB ratings in football. And they had a dynamic offense. Now, they lost Deshaun Jackson. They still have mediocre running backs. But this is still a very good potential offense with Bruce Arians. We all know he's a great offensive mind. We'll see if Jameis Winston can have a bounce-back season. It's now or never for him. Mike Evans, of course, a really good player. O.J. Howard, they have weapons. But their defense is still poor to me. And I think the Giants will be able to run the ball on them. I think they'll be able to control the clock. And I think they win because of that. I have the Giants win this game by about 4 points. I'll go 27-23, Giants. In Tampa Bay, getting to 2-1. So now we're 2-1. We're starting to play well. The fan base is getting positive. Eli's in the game. Washington home. I'm gonna have them winning. The last time these teams played, the Giants put up 40 points. Washington, of course, beat us well, I don't know if it was handily, but they really outplayed us. I remember maybe the Giants scored late and it was closer than the final score. It wasn't as close as the final score indicated, but I think the Giants are at least as good as Washington. The Redskins offensive line concerns me if I'm a Redskin fan. Landon Collins, I thought you guys overpaid. He's a decent safety. You guys definitely have talent. You have talent where in the trenches. You have a pretty good defense. I still think Saquon's going to be able to run the ball on you guys effectively. And I don't like Haskins early on in his career. I think Haskins is going to be a very good quarterback. Everybody knows I like Haskins. But I don't think he's ready yet. And if he's playing, I don't think it's a good matchup for you guys. So I'm going to have the Giants beating the Redskins in this one at home by 7 points. Next game up, the Minnesota Vikings. Giants now are 3-1. Vikings, going into last year, were my pick to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I think they have a load of talent. Kirk Cousins disappointed. They finished 9-7 and narrowly missed the playoffs last year. Seems like a lot of people are down on the Vikings. I'm not. I still think the Vikings are a good football team. They still have really good weapons on offense, whether it be the wide receivers with Thielen, with Diggs, and of course the running back they got over there who's always hurt. But and the defense is very good, and that is why I'm going to take the Vikings in this game because of that defense. I think they're able to contain Saquon Barkley, make Eli Manning make a few mistakes, and the Vikings get out of New York with a win, which drops the Giants to 3-2. That now brings us to Foxborough. One of the toughest places to play in football against arguably the best team in football. Bill Belichick, mastermind. I will say this. Every time these two teams meet historically, it's always a great game. And it may be a great game here. But if I'm being completely fair and objective and not just going off of 5 years ago history, I can't have the Giants win this game. It's in Foxborough. New England's a much better football team. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's the storyline going into this game is going to be Eli versus Brady. And, it'll be fun to watch it, no doubt about it. Thursday night, also historically, the home team always has a huge advantage. They win like 60% of the time. So I just can't see the Giants winning this game, and I hope to God I'm wrong. But if I'm being honest, I don't see it. I'm going to have the Giants at 3-3. Next game up, Arizona Cardinals. I think a lot of people are going to like Arizona this year. They're going to think they could have this pretty strong season, bringing in the new coach in Kingsbury with his high-flying offense, bringing in Kyler Murray, who looked good in his preseason game, even though they were all like 6-yard passes. With this new offense, whatever. Defense still stinks. Offensive line is still mediocre at best. David Johnson, I think, does have a bounce-back season. If you're a fantasy player, go ahead and grab Kyler Murray. Grab David Johnson. It's a bad football team. I don't care. They're traveling 3,000 miles. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants at home against the Arizona Cardinals. We get the 4-3. Next up, the Detroit Lions. And this is a game, I'll say this. If the Giants want a shot at the playoffs this year, this game, they have to win. Unfortunately, I'm going to have them losing it. Detroit, and they could win it for sure. But at Detroit's front line, the defense is spectacular. It's spectacular. They stuff you in the trenches with Snacks Harrison. They added Trey Flowers. The defense is very good. They're going to be able to but limit Saquon Barkley in the run game. It's in the Dome. They're at home. I think Stafford has a nice bounce back year this year. And I just don't see the Giants keeping up there. I don't. I'm going to have the Lions winning this game by 7. I'll say 27-20 Detroit Lions. Which brings us to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I said the first game the Giants would lose at Dallas. Eli Manning in this situation, he's 4-4. If he loses this game, he's gone. If he drops to 4-5 with the Jets on deck, I think you see Daniel Jones. Eli Manning knows that. This is a game the Giants have to win. I think he does it. I think he finds a way to beat the Cowboys. Some way, shape, or form. It's at home. I'm going to have them split with the Cowboys this year. I don't think we get swept. I think we find a way to beat this football team, and I'm going to have us beating Dallas by 3 points. 24-21 at home. Next game up, the New York Jets. I'm going to this game. There's no way in hell I'm picking the Jets to beat the Giants in a game I will be attending. I think these two teams are evenly matched. It says at Jets. It's not. It's a neutral field, right? The Giants fans will show up, right? They'll get the tickets off StubHub, whatever it is. Jets, much improved team. Le'Veon Bell, right? Jamison Crowder. They improved the offensive line. Defense improved with C.J. Mosley. At the end of the day, the Jets were still a horrible football team last year. I think Darnold is going to be improved this year. He looked great in the first preseason game outside of that first pass to Jabril Peppers. Let's be fair here, Jet fans. That would have been a pick six or at least a pick, obviously. It hit both his hands had Peppers been able to hold on to it, and Jets fans would have been singing an entirely different tune had that ball been caught. Nevertheless, it wasn't. He hit on a couple of nice pick plays, a couple of nice yards after the catch, and Darnold looked great. Darnold's going to be very good this year. But I think the Giants find a way to win this football game. I think Barkley's able to run on your team. I think Eli Manning plays pretty well. And I think they win. I think they go into the bye, as crazy as this sounds, at 6-4. The bad news is after the bye, it gets ugly. But they're 6-4 going into the bye, and they give us hope. And Eli Manning gets to come in for the next game, Week 12. And even if the Giants lost that game, a lot of people would say start Daniel Jones. Are you really going to start Daniel Jones in Chicago, the best defense in football? I don't see it. I see Eli Manning coming out, playing the Chicago Bears for the 11th game of the season. Revenge game for Chicago. It is. I mean, and there's no way we win this game. I want to say it. I want to say it. But unless there's injuries, you can't predict that. I don't see us going into Chicago and winning. I just don't. Revenge game. I think they limit the Giants' offense, and they win this one 24-13 Bears. 24-13 Bears. Next game up, we've got the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, to me, one of the best teams in the NFC this year. So who do you think I'm picking? I've been picking Green Bay to potentially go to the Super Bowl for months. I love what they did in free agency. I think Aaron Rodgers is motivated beyond belief. Yeah, I can't do it. I got Green Bay winning this by 10. 31-21, Green Bay Packers at home. Next game up, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. And at this point, the Giants are 6-6. Daniel Jones definitely could come in at this point. But if I'm the coach, I still don't bring him in. I say no matter what, even if we win this game, Jones is coming in the last 3. But I'm not starting him in Philadelphia. I'm just not going to do it. It's a house of horrors. You want to get your quarterback off on the right foot to start his career, and that would not be the right place to do it, much like Chicago wouldn't have been. So because of that, I have Eli Manning starting this game. We've narrowly lost to this team several times over the years, right? You could argue we should have won 3 of the last 4 times we played them. I think the Eagles fans are overrating their team. I will say that throughout the entire season. I'll mock you and say you're going to go 19-0. I don't think you're a 12-4 team. I don't think you're a 13-3 team. However, I think you're a better football team than my team. And you're going to win this game. I'm going to have the Eagles winning this game by 6 points. 27-21 Eagles at home. Giants now drop to 6-7. Daniel Jones makes his debut against the Miami Dolphins. And it's who better to make your debut against? Poor football team. You get some confidence. That's exactly what happens. Daniel Jones tears them to shreds. He plays great. The offense moves the ball. Barkley controls the clock. Giants win this game. Giants win this game. This is their most winnable game on their schedule all year. And because of that, I'm going to have them getting to 7-7 on the year and still having some hope going into the last 2 games of the season. Because of that hope, I'm going to have them sweeping Washington this year because I think Washington at this point is out of it. I think Haskins struggles his rookie year. And I think the Giants have something to play for. I think they get to 8-7. They get to 8-7, giving them hope the last week of the season. And then we play the Philadelphia Eagles yet again. And I think this is a game that the Eagles are going to need. I don't think they run away and hide with the division. Eagles at this point, I'll say, are like 9-6. Giants maybe 8-7. And again, very close game. But unfortunately, the Eagles pull it out in a very close, tightly fought matchup. I'll say 23-20 Eagles. Giants finish 8-8 on the year, having one of their best seasons in years and giving them some hope for the future with Daniel Jones playing well the last 3 games down the stretch. But yeah, that's the way I have it, guys. I've got the Giants with 8 wins, 8 losses. In terms of the division, they go 3-3. They sweep the Redskins. They get swept by the Eagles, and they split with the Cowboys. Now, looking at this schedule, how would they win a few more games? Like I said, I think that Detroit game is somewhat winnable. They could definitely win that. I think they could beat the Eagles the last game of the season at home. I don't see them winning in Dallas. But you could definitely argue that we would lose to Dallas at home, too. So, I think 8-8, 7-9, I think that's the fair number. I tried to be optimistic. I went 8-8 with the Giants this year. That is what I expect. Hopefully they do 2 games better and not 2 games worse. I think they're anywhere between 6 and 10 wins this year, with 7 or 8 wins being the most realistic outcomes. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.